Hello, this is Mortgage Paul. I'm sitting down with Kristin Matulonis today. She's the managing broker of Equity Property Management. We're in their training room in their facility at their headquarters in Sandy, Utah. Kristin, thanks for sitting down with me today.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate that you're taking time with me today.
Absolutely.
So Kristin, what are the benefits of hiring a property manager?
Oh, there's many benefits to hiring a professional management company, but the key benefit is really the retention of an owner's hard-earned dollars. We want to maximize your return and minimize your losses. We do this in many different ways: screening processes, effective move-in, move-out timeframes for shorter vacancy cycles, and overall better client and overall better tenant retention.
What are some of the problems or risks that people have when they rent their properties out?
There are major obstacles and losses that an owner can ensue when doing self-management. We can offer protection against rental scams. Property management companies can also eliminate lawsuits against owners, which includes discrimination lawsuits, licensing fines.
Tell me, what do you mean by licensing fines? If I have a house and I want to rent it out, what do you mean by licensing?
Well, every city is different in regards to what they require for business licensing. Some don't require anything, some require a lot. There's also classes that you have to take in regards to being a good landlord. You have to have certain certificates. Many owners don't know this, and if you're caught, you can be fined, and it can be steep, and you can even eliminate the ability to rent your property. You need to know this up front before you actually start renting your property. Because the last thing you want to do is invest and then not have the ability to do so.
So many people turn their houses into rentals over the past few years when we had the downturn in the economy.
Right.
Because they had a $250,000 mortgage and the house could only sell for $220,000, so they said, I'm just going to rent it out until the market turns around.
Right.
They rent it out, they move on. What risks are they getting into?
Well, hopefully none, but there are definitely some inherent risks that they may not foresee. There's such risks as IRS fines for not properly handling your taxes. Again, the city licensing ordinances, if you're screening a tenant on your own, many owners don't know what the federal, state, and even city fair housing laws there are. If you violate those, you can be reprimanded. In my career, I have seen 4 individuals actually be tried for unknowingly violating federal fair housing laws. And, they've been tried. So it's important to know these laws and these issues up front so that you can protect yourself as well as your investment.
Kristin, I've met people who've rented out their houses before, and they became very personally involved with the people who are renting the house. And from a third-party point of view, I see that, and I see the owner of the property getting taken advantage of.
Yes.
Does that happen?
Oh, absolutely. That is why most come to us in the first place. They
had a sob story or something.
Yes. That is, you've got to keep it professional. Property management companies, we inherently have an advantage over owners in being able to be professional with our tenants. This is our business. It's not just something that we're doing on the side. So we have a better, the better ability to collect the rents and to maintain that property in good condition. Tenants will walk over you. They will. It's just in their nature, and advantages will be taken. So when you are consistent and when you are professional with them, and you eliminate the tenants will take advantage. They absolutely will. They will walk over owners if they let them. So you have to be consistent up front, and you have to be professional with them. This is your business, and you have to treat it as such. 50% of the people that come to us are owners that are already in trouble, many times because they have become too personal with the tenants. So it results in months of lost rents, sometimes property damage, sometimes violations with HOAs, with city laws and ordinances. So they're in trouble and they come to us, and we can help with that. That's what we do. We know how to help when an owner is at a loss of what to do. We know the next step. But of course, we want to eliminate those problems from the start. So it's always best to hire property management.
Okay. So, Kristin, worst case scenario, your tenants, they give you a sob story or they're obstinate or whatever it may happen to be, and they stop paying rent. Mm-hmm. What's the process that you would go through to get rid of them?
Well, we have a very consistent system when it comes to late rents. We are very steep with our fines. And we are also consistent when it comes to them not paying on time. After them not paying when they are required, the next day we are serving those 3-day notices. And again, in 3 days, if they have not paid, then we are getting our legal team involved. We have an attorney write letters, we scare them, threaten them, and most of them do pay. We have an extremely high rate of payments.
That doesn't sound very nice.
Well, it's a business, and we have to treat it as such.
That's what I was expecting. I think that's the issue, is that people want to inherently be nice. Mm-hmm. And so if they get to know this family and the family gives them a sob story and gives them a reason and they care about them and they know who they are, right. It's hard to make.
It's hard to do.
It's really hard to do.
It's hard. We inherently want to be nice, but we have to treat it as a business. And it is our business. We don't get paid unless they pay. And we want to make sure we're protecting our interests as well as our owners.
Kristin, can you give me a story where you guys came in and saved the day?
Gosh, there's quite a few stories. Recently, we had a gentleman who inherited a rental property from his grandfather, and he thought, well, I could do it on my own. He ended up placing 2 tenants in a duplex, no leases, very little security deposit, and within months he's realized that he's placed the wrong tenants. These are professional tenants that know how to take advantage. So he came to us, and we started the process of eviction on one, and to help mitigate his losses, we also started the process of collecting on the other. And we were able to collect for 2 months, for a while on one, so that we could evict the other. So I would say that within 3 months we had them both out, and after that, within 15 days, we had the property leased. And we've had that property leased now for 6 months with consistent rents and quality tenants. So it did cost this poor person, this owner, for his lack of knowledge and essentially his wanting to be kind and generous. And anyway, he is extremely happy, and he has now a cash flowing property. So that's just one of our...
That's the key.
That's the key. You want it to be a cash flowing property. Otherwise, why would you do it? So it's just too much headache to do it if it's not cash flowing.
Yeah, and that happens a lot.
It does. Major. Yeah. I've seen upwards of $50,000, $60,000 in lost rents and legal fees and damages to a property when an owner has done self-management and just, they get busy. This isn't an owner's first priority.
No, because they wake up in the morning and they go to their job.
Correct.
And they come home and they take care of their kids and they mow their own lawn and they wash their cars and they deal with the IRS for their own issues.
Right.
All the other things.
Right.
This is just something on the side that
Correct.
they would like to open up the mail and have a check and not have to worry about it.
Correct.
But I can imagine tenants knowing that you don't have the time and energy or expertise to manage it yourself, they'll take advantage of that situation.
Absolutely. And that's also one of the major benefits in having a property management company is often owners do get busy. If rents are paid on time, they kind of forget about the property. They forget about the maintenance of the property. It's so key to make sure that you're involved in your property on a monthly basis at least. You need to be driving by. You need to be doing interior inspections.
Can you go in and inspect?
Absolutely. Many owners don't know that. Absolutely. Owners should be giving notice to inspect on a regular basis. Management companies, we do this. Equity Property Management actually does safety inspections where we go in and check smoke detectors, we change filters, we check plumbing. We also really make sure that the integrity of the property is upheld. We do drive-by inspections. We make sure your landscaping is being handled on a consistent and a good basis every month. We have certain requirements that we require of the tenants, and in order to enforce this, you have to be at the property.
So, Kristin, let's say that I have a property in Salt Lake City that I've rented out, and I live in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And it snows. And one of the neighbor kids come over and walk up the front steps, and they slip and they fall down the steps and they break their leg. Is that risk on me or on the tenant, or?
It absolutely is. That's another great thing that
the tenant didn't get rid of the snow, didn't mitigate it.
Right.
So.
And the tenants, very often, unless it's in an HOA, are required by their lease, so by contract, to make sure that the snow is removed in accordance to city laws. We help protect further the owner in that we require the tenants insure themselves. So if for some reason the visitor does get injured on the property if for some reason someone gets injured while the tenant is renting it, then that liability is on the tenant.
And
not
you
on
make
the
the tenant
owner.
buy insurance
That's correct.
for that.
Yep. And we regulate that. And we follow up and make sure that they have a current policy in place, and it is contracted in our lease agreements. It's very important.
Well, Kristin, thanks for sitting down with me.
Yeah.
This is really interesting stuff. If people want to get a hold of you to figure out if you can help with them, how will they get a hold of you?
Please call us. Our office is Equity Property Management, and we are at 801-545-4302. Again, my name is Kristin, and Paul, thanks so much for having me.
No problem. Thanks, Kristin.
Thanks.
So this is Mortgage Paul. I sat down today with Kristin going over property management and the risks and the benefits of owning investment property. Thanks.